We're back here in the tackle room, and today we're talking about one of the absolute best presentations all winter long. Last time I used it, I couldn't count how many fish that I caught. We'll talk about what it is, how I'm using it, and where I'm using it. Stick around, you don't want to miss this one. Oh, nope, I got him. Ooh, aren't you excitable? Come on, ooh, that's a good fish. And here's this video's featured comment. Congratulations! If you would like to have a chance to have your comment featured in an upcoming video, all you've got to do is leave a comment. And now, on with the video. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. And here in South Mississippi, it's another yucky winter day. It's storming like crazy outside, the wind is howling, and temperatures are in the low 40s. It's still quite cool. Normally it's warmer than that, but that doesn't mean that the bite has turned all the way off. In fact, there is still some great fishing to be had. You guys know I've been fishing around the main boat ramp on the Big Lake, and there are several reasons why. And we've talked about the boat ramp itself, how it warms up and radiates heat out into the water on sunny days. But what if it's a cloudy day? What if it's a windy, cloudy day and there's no sun bearing down on that boat ramp? Well, the boat ramp can still be an amazing place, especially on places like the Big Lake, because a lot of times they will dredge that area out to make sure the water's deep enough for boats to be able to get in and out, especially on a large or a state-run body of water. So that's the case on the Big Lake. So those bass have that deep water access that they often crave. A lot of times, in fact, most of the times, I don't have to fish deep water in winter. For me, bank fishing in the fall and bank fishing in the winter is often very viable because those bass have clustered around that main boat ramp all in that area. And even though the water isn't very deep, they have that warmth of the boat ramp on the sunny days, and they have that deep water access in that man-made channel on other days so they can drop back into that water. And it's all right in that one area. So last time I was out there, I was catching bass left and right with a jerkbait. However, what happens when everyone's using a jerkbait? See, problem is when a lowbrow posts a video, everybody in my area who knows what the Big Lake is, well, I go out there the next day and there's 15 guys on that one spot. It's an unavoidable consequence of having a YouTube channel that gets some views. A lot of times, I just get crowded out of certain particular areas. And the last time I went out to the boat ramp, it was the same thing. I was out there fairly early. It was already cloudy. It was windy. It was cold outside. But that didn't stop there being 5 other boats right in that one spot. They'd put in and they'd fish right around in that area. But the thing about it is they were all using jerkbaits and none of them were catching fish. I saw guys in a crappie boat, I saw a guy in a kayak, and a couple guys in really nice bass boats with their live scope tooling around, and they could see the schools and they were throwing out jerkbaits and they weren't catching anything. Because as we've talked about before, just like in the summertime, those bass tune out all that noise. So you have to change it up. You've got to be willing to change your presentation. Remember, it's never the bass's fault that they aren't biting. We often get mad at the fish, but we don't need to get mad at the fish. We need to say, okay, what can we do to present things on the bass's terms so that we can catch more fish? Well, there was a presentation that I went to, and it's so simple. I talk about it all the time, but I caught so many fish on it on that one bait that I lost count. And what is it? Well, it's this fella right here. Just a simple, weightless, soft plastic jerkbait. And the cool thing about it is I never once changed this out. This is actually the same one. I caught every single fish on this one particular jerkbait. A lot of times they get tore up and you have to change them, or the scent goes away and you have to change them. I just kind of wanted to see just exactly how many fish I could catch on this one. And I'm telling you, all day long. This thing was a real trooper.
I just got bumped again. And I'm barely tapping that thing. Oh, there we go. Got you that time, little buddy. Got you that time, little buddy. That's a good one right there. Alright, get your butt up here. Ooh, he went after it too. That's a nice bass. But look how pale they are. That's a winter bass for sure. He went after it. Alright, so we found out where they're hiding in the back of this cove. Hey, he's probably about 1.25 pounds. Nice little fluke bass. Alright, there we go. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
So, right off the bat, I was able to catch some fish using that soft jerkbait. And I could feel them. Every time I cast it out there, I'm getting tapped at. And a lot of times they would wait until right next to the boat before they would just inhale it. And that happened on more than a few occasions. Like this instance right here, as I was making another pass through that water, letting the current drift me by the boat ramp, well, this guy came out of nowhere and just inhaled that soft jerkbait.
Back to the start, back to the start. Let me see what I can do with this old fluke. And they weren't hitting a hard jerkbait at all today because of how much these things get fished. I have watched guys come through here. Ooh, that's a good one. You're not coming at me. Come on, that's a good fish right there. Whoa, that's another good one. Come on up. That is the nice fat fish. Look at that. He went after it. Look at that. Gotta love it when they go after it. See if I can get... Oop. There we go. Nice fat butterball. That one's pushing 2. Between 1.25 pounds, or between 1 pound and 3/4 and 2. Another gorgeous bass. Another gorgeous bass. We sure do appreciate it, brother. We sure do appreciate it. Thank you. And there he goes. All right, let's go catch another one.
That was a really nice fish, around that 2-pound area. But you could see he was really going for that bait. And that was the case all day long. How was I working it? Well, I was letting it sink down in the water after I let it cast, right? I'd cast it out there and I would let it sink down in the water. And then I would give it a couple twitches, which obviously is going to cause it to rise up in the water, and I would let it sink down again. I wasn't going super fast, but at the same time, I wasn't going super slow because those fish were chasing active bait fish, which means my bait had to look fairly enticing, fairly active, and it still had to stand out against all those other minnows and shad that those bass were chasing. And the crazy thing about it is that wasn't the only bait that I was able to catch fish on. It was such an aggressive bite in that area that I decided I was going to try a couple other things just to see what I could catch a fish on. And this, well, I threw this out there and I was able to actually catch a nice bass on it.
I'm working, kids. Don't come and talk to me, kids. I'm working here. Got him. Oh yeah, he took it. On the little chug bug. Nice. Alright, get up here, buddy. Get up here. He slurped it. He slurped it on the little chug bug. Nah. I got you. We're coming. I'm gonna get you free. I'm gonna get you free. Let me get my hook. Let me get my thingamawhatsits out. And he's a little bitty guy. He's, I don't know, right at a pound. Let's go ahead and get him free and get a look at him. Yeah, about a pound. Nice little fish. Nice little fish. On the popper, on the little chug bug. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, let's go get another one.
That's right, this little chug bug. A small popper. I figured a bigger popper may be a little bit of overkill, but just this little chug bug. You know, it's just the same ones you get at Walmart all the time. It's nothing fancy. These things are light. They're very small. As far as a popper goes, they're very finesse. And I was fishing it on a spinning combo. 10-pound braid to an 8-pound co-poly leader, 7-foot medium rod with my new Revo spinning reel. And sure enough, it got slurped too. And that was kind of crazy too, because it didn't peck at it. He actually slurped it. Not the biggest fish, about a pound, but still, it was a lot of fun. But I went back to fishing that fluke, and I'm telling you what, they were not done yet. There were so many active fish in the water, including this guy who decided he wanted to show me just how acrobatic he was.
I think it's Thursday. Might be Monday. Heck, I don't remember. I have to ask my wife. Right in between them. Come on, kids, play. I might have to change up my fluke. Oh, nope, I got him. Ooh, aren't you excitable? Come on. Ooh, that's a good fish. Look at that. They're getting bigger and bigger. They are getting bigger and bigger. That dude right there is over 2 pounds. All in that same fluke all day. I don't know how many that is. Yeah, that one's right at about 2 pounds. Beautiful fish, right at about 2 pounds. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bass. And we're catching, let's get that tail out. I don't know, we're catching fire out of him. Beautiful, thank you, buddy. And there he goes. Let's go get some more.
So I was getting bites like crazy, left and right. And I'll be honest, I lost count of how many fish I caught. So whenever you are in those situations, the bite is good, or even when the bite isn't good and you're looking to entice those fish, try a change of pace. When everybody is throwing a jerkbait, try something like a fluke, you know, maybe even a wacky worm. A lot of times those bass are going to be suspended above the bottom. A lot of times they may have their belly in the mud, but I like to bring the bait over their head because those bass will often come up and get that bait, which is what they were doing to me. As I said, whenever I was bringing it closer to the boat, that's when they would strike, and I was getting some really nice strikes. It was no doubters. So even though I was getting tapped as I was reeling it in, tapped as I was working it along, right by the boat for some reason, that's when they decided they were going to inhale it. So keep that in mind. Try a fluke, try a swim bait, try a fluke junior, something along those lines for a change of pace. And you will be amazed at exactly how well that works. When everybody else is throwing a jerkbait, throw something quiet, throw something subtle, and really get those fish's attention. So there you have it. A lot of times when other anglers are throwing a hard jerkbait, switching to something more subtle, especially like a soft jerkbait, can be exactly what the doctor ordered. And you'll be amazed at how big of a difference that small change can make in your winter bass fishing. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.